they have to have something above normal human being or above normal capacity to understand, yes, this is the one who set the laws is breaking the laws.
Yes.
He's the only one who is able to break the laws.
Why do you feel you have to worship something or someone?
Let me give you an example. If I give you, if you're gonna lose your eyesight, and I give you, I'm the only one who has the antidote to cure your eyes, and I give you the antidote for free, and then you cure your eyes, what are you gonna say to me?
Thank you.
At least you're gonna be so grateful every time you see
More
me.
than
Remember,
thank you. I'll be jumping
isn't
up
it?
with joy. Yeah.
Why? Because we believe our eyesight is so valuable.
Absolutely.
So what we say is, by the same definition, God is the one who gave us this valuable eyesight for free. We have to be grateful to Him, not because He needs it, not because He wants it, it's because He deserves it. This is what we believe as Muslims. So we believe that you have to worship Him as a form of gratitude. If you don't, you're not being grateful.
But when you say worship, define what you mean by worship.
Worship is a very, very broad word when it comes to Islam.
Yeah.
So if I remove something from the road, so people don't hit it when they're walking, it's a form of worship.
So it's just a helpful way of being in life.
If you're doing something good on the standards of Islamic religion, good, for the sake of God, this is worship. Anything good, doesn't matter
so
what
it's
you
not
do.
a worship of like bow down to someone.
You can. This is some form of it.
Yeah,
some form of it. But as I said, it's a very all-encompassing word. Yeah. It's not just what you're thinking about. But
like getting married.
Like getting married.
Yeah.
Doing the right things at the right time.
Yeah, doing the right
Smiling
thing,
in your face, we believe is charity in Islam.
absolutely.
So there are many forms of worship when it comes to
Okay.
Islam. But
That's
we believe
good to
it.
understand.
How long are you going to be here for?
No, I'll be for long. Don't worry.
Okay, I want to.
No problem. No problem. Sorry.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Okay,
And
so-
thank you for describing it and putting it such in a particular
You like this
way.
one?
Yeah, because I've asked the question so many times and I don't get an answer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you still haven't given me an answer.
Yeah.
But you just defined it and broken it down in a way that I can understand.
Okay.
And when you say worship, like I've always understood worship in the sense, as soon as I hear the word worship,
Prayer,
I see that.
bowing down, etc.
Yeah, I
No,
see
it's
bow
not only
down
that.
to someone. And I always wonder, why would you want to lower your standards,
You know what-
in a sense, to bow down to somebody else that you don't even know? Normally it's I see a person standing there and someone bows to
I
a
understand,
person and I think, well, actually you should value yourself at a higher level and not bow to anyone unless you're bowing together at the same time, to me personally.
So what we believe is one of the greatest form of worship as well is pondering, looking and reflecting upon the universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is, we believe, is one of the greatest form of worship.
Appreciation,
You know why?
right? Yeah.
Appreciation and reflecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you reflect upon the universe, you found out that God exists. Your belief increases. You understand? So when God, for example, tells us to pray in a manner that bowing down, etc., we believe if I want to bring a gift for my friend, for example, I'm going to bring a gift that he likes, not that I like.
Yeah.
So if I want to worship God, I'm going to worship Him the way that He likes.
So you're kind of doing God's work for him in a sense,
Yes.
what you're saying.
We're worshiping Him in the way He wants us to worship Him. Why? Because He knows us. He knows what's good for us. He knows what's bad for us. So if He tells us to do something, it's good for us.
Yeah.
Even if we don't see.
And when you say someone he tells you to do something, you mean that you feel and something through you that talks through you to say go and do this, or you
Not
get like an
necessarily.
urge in your
Not
human
necessarily.
body to.
I'll tell you why I don't take this, for example. We believe that you have a connection with God, subjective connection with God. You have to have it between you and between your Lord, which I believe most of Muslims have. But I believe this cannot be sufficient on its own. Why? Because everyone can come to conclusions. Someone might be getting ideas from a wrong source, even inside of him, from a wrong source to do wrong things. You understand? So we have to have something that we unite upon, we take morality from, which I believe to be scripture. So when I say someone is telling me, I believe God is telling me through His scriptures, through His prophets, to do X, Y, and Z, which is the good morality for us. Which if you analyze Islam, for example, you find that everything Islam orders you to do is good for you.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
Why? Because God is the one who gave it to us. And He knows what's good for us, He knows what's bad for us, He knows our psychology, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. So, you personally, you said you believe in prophecy.
Yeah, well, I believe in the universe, as we live in a universe.
Yes.
So I believe everything's energy. So I believe God is energy. I believe it's just a big, massive energy stream we have around us, and we're able to tap into that energy.
Is it conscious? Is it conscious energy?
Conscious energy and subconscious intelligence. It's a higher intelligence.
Okay.
We are God. God runs through us. So that means to me.
Are you Buddhist?
No, I'm not.
So I have to ask.
Yeah, I'm
no
just
problem.
like.
No
I'm
problem.
just
So I'll tell you why we
know.
don't. Tell you why we don't believe that. So, for example, we say when you create a bag, for example, you don't become a bag.
Yeah.
You're separate from it.
When you create a
When you create a bag, when you create a shoes, when you create something, yes, you're intelligent with a factor for you to create it, but you don't become the bag. You're not a part of the bag. It's not a part
The bag comes from you.
comes from inside you. It comes from your mind. Yeah.
So it comes through your intelligence. It comes through your, you want to say your physical attributes, hands, legs, etc., whatever. But it's not a part of yourself. It's not a part of your hand. It's not a part of your physical entity. So when we say that God created the universe, we believe He's separate from the universe in that sense. His knowledge is there. He knows every one of us. He has a connection with every one of us, but not in a physical sense. So He has a connection with you, but a part of Him is not inside you. Because if a part of Him is in the universe, He will be in the wrong places as well. He will be in the places that we, as human beings, don't like. For example, in the bathroom, in this place, in that place. You understand? These kind of places, we believe God is more holy. He's not in these kind of places. He has a connection with you.
Is that because that's man-made?
Sorry.
Is that because that's man-made? Like
no,
a
because we
bathroom or
disguise these kind of things.
Right.
For Him as a holy source, He cannot be in these kind of things. I can have a connection with you, but it doesn't mean that I'm a part of you.
No,
You understand? So this is what we believe about God. He has a relationship with us, but He's not a part of us in a physical sense.
Right.
This is what we believe about God. What do you think about it?
I find that's like a disconnection. If it's not part of us, then you're disconnecting from your higher self. Because
Can I give you an example? If we're using phones, you have a phone, I have a phone. I'm guiding you, I'm telling you to do everything on the phone. I'm telling you everything on the phone. And our connection is on the phone. Can people have connections on the phone, on the internet, etc.?
Yeah.
So this kind of connection is a real connection. It's a real relationship and connection. So He can guide you through just talking to you.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be with you. So there is a connection.
But guiding in what sense? So you mean when you're being guided through? So from what part of you is it going through to your mind to give you the inspiration to speak, to say something?
Some are, yes.
So that goes through you.
You could say ideas coming to your...
Yeah, but that's from God putting it into you. No?
Yes, you can say that, no problem.
Yeah, so that is part of you, and then you merge into.
It's like the me talking to you on the phone. You hear the words and they come to your mind, but they're not a part of me or you. You understand?
No, absolutely.
This is what I'm trying to say. If you take that God is telling you to do good things, no problem. But He's not a part of you physically. You know, when it comes to physically, when we say physical, God is not physical anyways, but we're trying to describe in language. You understand?
This is what
so
I mean.
His
That's why
entity,
I can understand it as an energy.
Yes.
That's why,
you
to
could
me,
say,
logically.
I believe even energy is not given. This is, you could say, how you can describe it, but it's not given right as well. You understand? It's not given right to the entity because it's about energy as well. So we believe this entity is communicating with you, with him, with me, with everyone, but it's not a part of us in the physical sense or the entity sense or etc. However would you want to describe it? You understand? So if you believe that prophets came to teach us how to worship God, to how to conduct our lives, what do you think about Prophet Muhammad?
I don't know enough about it to give you a comment, to be honest. I don't want to discuss something I have no idea about, okay? I just hear bits and I put...
Can I tell you some? Would you like to hear some?
Absolutely.
So Prophet Muhammad, the one we believe in. We as Muslims, we believe in all the prophets of Jesus. So we believe in Adam, Jesus, Moses, Noah. We believe they were prophets, not gods. Not 3 in 1, not 4 in 1, not physical forms of God.
Do you think they were specially picked? Do you think they were specially
By God
picked?
Himself, He chooses whom He wills to be prophet. One of them was Prophet Muhammad. He came, He affirmed all the prophets before him. He came with the same message they came with: worship one God, obey one God, be submitting to one God. When we say Muslim didn't start with Prophet Muhammad. It started with Adam. He was submitting to God. Therefore, he was a Muslim. Everyone who submits to God is a Muslim. Who submits to God in His way. The real true God. So we believe Prophet Muhammad came to propagate the same message, believe and worship on God. He received revelation from God like all the other prophets, affirmed all the other prophets, and he brought his evidence base to prove that he's coming from God. So why we believe that Prophet Muhammad is coming from God, I'll give you a simple example with the Quran. Let's say the Quran, a very simple example. This book, the Quran, is an Arabic book, right? We still have it today, physical form preserved till today. So this Arabic book that we have today, how many options, where did it come from? It could come from Arabs, human beings. It could come from God. It could come from the devil. What else? Do you have any options? We want to eliminate... Angels. We want to eliminate all the options.
That's it. Could come, just...
So it's coming, let's put angels.
It could come from aliens.
We have to prove that aliens exist.
Shapeshifters, I've just found out as well. So
let's say a higher energy to put all of these kind of things in one.
Please.
What do you think?
I can understand that.
Yeah, no problem. So it's coming from God, which we call the higher energy, or it's coming from a higher source other than God, or it's coming from Arabs, normal human beings, or it's coming from the devil. The devil is one of the powers. Let's say the devil is separate to them. So is it coming from Arabs? This book we say is supernatural. Why? We can prove that. This book, the Quran, has been here for like 1500 years. Setting one challenge. Bring something like it. Produce something like it. The Arabs like me, originally Arabs like me, we can speak the Arabic language fluently. At their time, they were at the peak of the Arabic language. So if this book was from human beings, they would be able to bring something like it. No one would believe in it.
So you're saying it wasn't human beings that wrote it?
If it was, no, I'm saying if it was human beings, no Arab would believe in it because he can bring something like it. And it says if it's other from God, you can bring something like it.
So where are you saying the book came from?
So it's coming from a higher source. Now we can establish it's not from human beings. Can we establish that?
Well, yeah, because my question's always been, how does people, when people go through the Bible or the Quran, I always think, well, you don't know the people that wrote it, so how can you believe what someone's just written down?
We know as Muslims who wrote the Quran, specifically by
So it was from
by
humans
names.
that wrote it?
No, the Prophet received revelation, verbal revelation from God. He recited the Quran, human beings wrote it down.
Right.
But its physical form, its words is from God. The words of God we believe.
Okay, that
But the
makes
physical,
sense.
you understand
the
my point?
physicality of it is the book, but the word, okay.
The word itself is
Okay.
coming from God. So this word, it's not like the Bible, it's not like the Torah. The Torah or the Bible, they don't make the claim that brings something like it. If they do, anyone can write something like that.
But
It's
that's
for
what
just.
I say. That's
You understand?
how I look. I would
Yes.
say, well, hang on a sec.
Yes.
I could have. How does?
Yeah.
At what point does someone say, oh, that's someone that wrote that?
Yeah.
And 1500 years, they didn't have pens and papers back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
They didn't. Who understood that language to
Yeah.
start with? Because I don't believe the language
Yes.
is exactly the same. We've expanded since then.
Yeah.
Even English language
You
is
could
now
say
different.
even you could
It's
go even
changed.
more further when it comes to the Bible, for example. You could say Jesus was spoken Aramaic, his mother language, but the manuscripts you have is in Greek.
Yeah.
It's not even in his real language.
Yeah.
And you don't have a chain of narration going back to him.
No.
So why do you accept? And you don't know who wrote the books down.
I don't
Why do you
accept
accept?
them.
Why
I
do you
don't.
accept? You understand?
I
No.
don't, but yeah, in
yes, you
general, I
understand.
get what you're saying.
So
I
we as
personally
Muslims,
don't, but yeah.
we as Muslims, we have many ways transmitting the Quran. One of them is manuscripts carbon dated to the time of the Prophet. One of them is oral tradition. So we memorize the whole Quran, we recite the whole Quran, we pray 5 times a day. 3 of these times we recite the Quran. So every day we're authenticating the same Quran from the time of the Prophet till today. And Ramadan, you know, the month of Ramadan, we pray, we use the whole Quran in Ramadan. So we're authenticating the whole book every year everywhere around the world. So no one can add to it or take from it. Because it's not only written form, it's also verbal form, oral form. That's why we know that we have today is from the Prophet Muhammad, from God, etc. That's why when it comes and makes a challenge, it says, if this is from man, if this is not from God, produce something like it. So if this is from any other source than God, this man, Muhammad, he would have received it from angel, demon, etc. Another human being would be able to do the same. Get in touch with a human being, an angel, and write it down as well, if it's not coming from God. You understand? So if this book is actually preserved until today, and no human being can bring something like it, this challenge has been for 1500 years, standing till today. As an Arab, there are multiple books written on that. You could read multiple books written on those. You understand? People tried, attempted, but they brought some funny things that has no relationship with the Quran.
Look, I understand with the writing side because I'm a writer also. So when I write,
Yeah.
I tune into something different. That
Yeah.
I don't even, when I read back what I've written, I don't
Yeah.
always know that. I don't. It's not a connection with
Yeah.
me as Anthea.
Yeah.
It's something else that's
Yeah.
written that.
Yeah.
Because I look back at work from 5 years ago and I go,
Did I read that?
write
Did I read that? Yeah.
How did I even know
Yeah.
that? I
Yeah.
didn't. I believe that's a higher intelligence that
Yeah.
takes over
Yes.
inside me.
Yeah.
And even when you're speaking
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
I don't believe you're speaking as you. You're speaking.
I'm
from-
being guided to say the
I'm
right
being
things.
guided to say the right things
Yeah.
because he says to me, I go into a trance
Yeah.
and I start speaking,
Yeah.
and it's in a different level to what anyone would know as a normal human
Yes.
being as such,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because this is why I love these conversations
Yeah.
because I don't doubt what you say and I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I just don't.
She doesn't.
I just don't sit with what you say. I
needs
see
proof.
different. Yeah.
I'm Muslim,
Yes.
but
You're
I
not a
don't
deep
know.
Muslim.
I don't know the whole.
Yeah.
So when, it annoys me
It's
because
okay.
when she hits me with a
Yeah.
question,
Yeah.
as a
He doesn't
Muslim,
have
it
to
hurts
answer me.
because I can't
Yeah.
justify it.
We're all born ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
absolutely.
gained knowledge through time.
Absolutely.
So if we don't have an answer to something, it doesn't mean we're deficient.
No, and knowledge, I believe, will travel through us, like you said, through
Yes.
prophets.
And
through-
maybe someone who's less knowledgeable than another person can give you a better explanation for the question you're looking for.
Absolutely.
So it's not only even questions.
No.
It's about giving the right answer to the right person.
Yeah.
To his degree for
to be able to understand it.
Yes.
Because I've never
So-
understood how I've understood just now when you speaking. So like, and that's just because there was something he kept on saying, come over there, and I was like, oh no, let's go over there, let's go over there. No, come over here.
something brought you here.
Something's bringing me here.
Something brought you
and
here.
I wouldn't like. So the more I could hear you speak, I was like, you know what? Something was saying to me, no, ask a question, because he's going, no, don't ask anything. I said,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to ask. No.
It's okay. It's okay. So it's okay. So what we believe, when you believe you should be submitting to the Creator, be grateful to the Creator.
I believe you should just be grateful, full stop.
Okay, so if
That's
his
it.
form of grateful is if he wants you to be grateful through being submitting to him, because he believes if you're not submitting to him, you're submitting to something else. We're submitting to society, submitting to
I try
family,
not to.
financial. Yes, we have to. If you're not, you say there's a philosopher. I think it's Rousseau. He said, "Man is born free, but everywhere in chains." So you have chains everywhere.
Chains up here.
Yes. You're slave to something else.
Yeah,
Money,
absolutely.
fame,
Yeah.
whatever it is you
Whatever
want to
it
call
is.
it.
Yeah.
So I might say I don't want to be slave to Allah.
Yeah.
But I want to be slave to this and that and
Yeah.
that. Even if you're not realizing subconsciously you're slave to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way you act in your life,
Even
if
down
you
to
think,
food
yes,
or like
many
all
things,
different things.
multiple
Like,
things.
you can go through so
we
many
say
things,
is
yeah.
the submission to the Creator is how you can actually be free.
Yeah.
You understand my point?
Yeah.
This is how you can be free as a Muslim, is submitting to the Creator because He's the one who knows what's good for you. If you submit to Him and follow His guidance, you will be happy in your life. You will have peace. You will have.
See, and I would
you
just say
understand?
submit to yourself in the sense of drop all judgment. Just be happy. Do what you can.
Do you
be
believe?
helpful?
Do you believe that you might get wrong ideas? You might get wrong things in your mind sometimes.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so if we submit to ourselves, we might do many bad things. I'll give you some examples. You know, Starling. Yes. You may, for example, this is one of the things that Quran says. Have you seen the one who took his desires as his own bed? So it says reflect upon yourself. Reflect upon yourself.
Interesting.
You see? It's a very interesting book because it tells you someone might be like Starling, rejecting that God exists, but killing people and saying, this is what I believe is true.
Yeah.
This is what I believe
And
is
the
good.
thing is, you can't actually knock them because they actually believe that.
Yes.
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, if someone's been inspired to do something, whether it's perceived as negative or perceived as positive,
Yes.
that's their calling to do something for their thought process, for what they believe in their life, and it's right for them. But
You understand?
you can't say it's wrong or you can't say
Yes.
it's right because that's what they done for them. I don't know.
When you have something, scripture for example, which we believe the prophets came with, we know it's coming from God. No one can manipulate it.
Right.
You can say this is what God says, not what I'm saying or not what she's saying, not what he's saying. This is what God is saying himself. So when we tell someone, don't kill, not because I'm telling you,
No.
or because your desires are telling you not to. No, because God, you have established that this comes from God and God is the one who's telling you not to do so. This is how we come to people as Muslims. So if we establish that this book, as we said, is not coming from a human being, we follow it. Why? Because this higher entity which we believe exists, this is the form of gratitude that it wants us to do. You understand?
I hear that.
This is how it wants us to live our life. This is how it wants us to, because
So it's peace, isn't it?
yes,
peace.
not only for you, not only for you, but for everyone else.
Yeah.
For example, when it tells you don't harm yourself or others, don't drink cigarettes. You're harming yourself. Okay, you want to harm yourself, but why are you harming me?
Yeah.
I'm taking 50% of the damage when I'm smoking with you.
Yes.
Why are you harming
Some
me?
people say that, right? My daughter was
You understand? So it's, are you smoking? I'm sorry. I didn't.
I'm
I
actually
didn't mean
giving
that.
up.
Yeah,
I'm actually on a
I
really
hope-
good
I
path
hope
right
I
now,
hope
so yeah.
So I didn't mean that by the way.
No, it's okay.
I just meant that it tries to look out for you and society. So you might find certain laws that are society-based laws to govern the society, to make the society in the right way, in the right path. You understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the guide. What we believe is guidance from us, because we're social human beings.
Yeah.
We're living
Why has
with
it gone
each
so
other.
upside down, man?
why there isn't churn so much.
Why has it turned so much though?
What is it?
People's
The world,
perceptions.
like everyone's
Yes.
gone mad. Like
Yeah.
everyone's.
You remember what we said about following your desires? That's why. I say to people, look in the heavens. Are there peace in the heavens? Everyone says yes. The heavens are submitting to the Creator. You're not submitting. That's why you have this conflict. If we're all submitting to one God, one being, one entity, we're all following the right path, there will be no conflict. But we're creating the conflict with our hands.
See, it's the word submitting that makes me feel warm.
Okay.
Don't like it.
Which word would you like?
I don't know.
Guided.
I
Why
don't
do you think
know.
about guided?
Guided. I love that word.
No problem. Let's use guided.
Guided is a lovely word to use.
They're guided, we're not guided. That's why when we look, we find peace. We look, we find harmony. But we look on us, we don't find peace or harmony.
Do you believe that you create your own reality, your own life, or do you believe that somebody, that God has given you a path and you're following that path? Or is it up to you?
I believe I have the free will.
Yes,
I believe I have the free will to choose the path. There are many pathways.
Yeah, but it's down to you, right?
Yes.
And anything that happens.
The Prophet gave an example to his companions. He put a line in the ground and he said there are doors over here. This line is the pathway of God. And these doors are the doors of desires, demons, etc. And on every door, there is someone who's advocating you to come to the door. And he's very eloquent in his way. You understand my point of view? So he told the people, no problem.
Need some people.
Yeah. So this is the best example because it's coming from the Prophet. This is what we believe. So he said people, they are the ones who are able to choose to go to the door or to continue in the path. Follow your desires or follow the guidance. So you're the one who make your reality in that sense. And that's why it's fair for you to be held accountable for what you did.
Right.
If you don't choose what you're doing, you cannot be held accountable for what you did. You understand my point?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah.
Lovely. What do you think about Prophet Muhammad from what I told you so far? If he brought a book that no human being can come up with, telling you how to live your life, a guidance way, morality, telling you all these kinds of good things, what would you think yourself? Do you think that he's a prophet?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's guided in the right way. So if it's something, if I was brought up in the way you've been brought up, and I was taught what you're teaching me right now, I'd probably be Muslim.
Yes.
But I've been grown up with no religion.
That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Some people think Islamic religion is a label. No. It means just someone who's guided, someone who believes.
And I like how you just stated that. And, yeah.
It believes in our point of view guided, because some people will say, no, you're not guided.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we say that God is there. He sent prophets to show us how to live our lives. We believe that these prophets are coming from God. We believe the scripture they're coming with is coming from God. Therefore, we submit to the guidance. We take the guidance that they brought and we follow the guidance of God. Because it's the best way we're going to find serenity, peace, we live in harmony, society, etc. This kind of thing. So when we tell a person, do you know how you become a Muslim? Did he ever tell you how you become a Muslim?
No, I've never asked him. He's never tried to tell me.
How you become a Muslim, it doesn't require baptism, it doesn't require anything. All it requires is you stating what you believe. You just told me that you believe that there is one God, right? You believe that Prophet Muhammad is a messenger. So, would you like to say after me what you believe in? If you say what you believe in, you become a Muslim. You don't have to start praying for the day, you don't have to do this. You don't have, everything is taken step by step. You already have a Muslim person, right? You're just saying, if I believe his jacket is black, I will say his jacket is black. If you believe that there is one God, Allah, and you believe the Prophet Muhammad is his prophet, you believe the Quran is from God, you believe in all the prophets, you're a Muslim. You just have to say it. So you want to say after me? Do you want to say after me?
No, I'm alright.
You sure? No problem. You can
That's
take
kind of a bit too far for me.
No problem. Sure.
But it's nice.
Does anyone have the Quran? Does anyone have the Quran? Do you have the Quran? Does anyone have a physical copy of the Quran? I would advise you. I'll get one for you. We need to get one. For you to read, reflect upon yourself. Because I believe you're a Muslim in belief. You might not want to declare it. You know, some people, yeah.
I was going to say, I believe many of the things that you believe, and it resonates with me, what you're saying.
Relates with your innate disposition.
Yeah, but I'm not a person that will read a book and go by. I feel like I use my own guidance on a daily basis. I wouldn't look at a book to say, okay, it says this in chapter.
Can you
blah,
do both?
Blah, blah. Can I do both? Absolutely.
Why not do both? You can accept. If you accept that this book, it's not a normal book, it's a guidance coming from the Creator. What would stop me from following the guidance that's coming from the Creator that knows me, knows Him, knows what's good for me, knows what's bad? What's going to stop me from following the guidance?
Nothing.
So why would I say...
Ego.
You see? So if we believe this is actually guidance coming from God, we're following it because it's guidance, not because it's written book or written... No, because this is just guidance in a form of a book. So when we follow it, we follow the guidance. You understand? You're not following me, you're not following Muslims. You're following the guidance of the Creator. And you can actually analyze and see that it's good for you. Why would I don't want to do something that's good for me?
Yeah.
Why don't I eat healthy if I can eat healthy?
No, I understand that because, like I said, I write books and I just brought a book out that I would give to people to say I've actually given copies away because I believe it's good for people.
Yeah.
So if I thought it was something that's going to put them in the wrong path maybe, and it could actually, it can't be for anyone or everyone, I would pick an audience. But because I know it's such a simplistic thing, it's such a simplistic thing that I would give it to people, because I'll say, well, actually, that could very easily help you along your path, and it could guide you. So if I could be that person that wherever it came from in me, to be able to write that down and be able to give to someone else, to me that's a gift from God. It's a gift from the Creator of all. Like, I don't know how to say
You
it,
understand?
because
It's the same example you just gave.
yeah, absolutely.
God gave you the same book. He's trying to give you guidance. You understand my point of view?
Absolutely. And you're saying to me, and I'm saying to you,
You understand?
when she's actually wrong, I'm actually realizing right this minute. It's like a fear, because that's like I said, that's an
Because you know what it is,
ego
bro?
thing that takes
You know what?
over.
You know what also brings the fear to you?
It's the TV or the things that you see.
This kind of devilish powers is the ones that starts to stop you. Don't follow the guidance. But why? It resonates within me.
why not?
I have the innate disposition inside me to believe that this is actually coming from God. Why would I stop to doing it? When you think rationally, that's why God gave us rationality and mind. You can actually think, we're doing this in the right way. We're doing this in the right manner. I won't let you deceive me and tell me don't follow.
But you know, in your everyday life anyway, like if you go past someone and you go like that, that's wrong. If you walk past someone and you're not this, I'm so sorry. Like, that's just a natural way of being.
Exactly.
Right?
You know, we believe in something called fitra. Fitra is the innate disposition in knowing what's good and bad.
Yeah.
So you, when you say it resonates inside you, your fitra is related with what I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about that I'm the one giving you a perspective. It's about that you already believe this kind of thing.
Absolutely.
You already have it. We believe this fitra gets clouded sometimes by society.
Not sometimes, probably a lot of
Most
the
of
time.
the time, isn't it? It gets clouded by these kind of things. But when you think about it, when someone shows you what resonates with what's in you, you actually accept that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we tell you, you say you do statements which you believe in, what would stop you in doing something like that? You know what you're doing. You're giving the rights to the Creator to Him. You're saying, I'm giving you your rights. I'm not going to give your rights to my desires, or to a man, or to a woman, or to an idol. I'm giving you your rights. I'm going to be grateful to you for my eyesight, for my hearing, for everything that you have. I'm going to be grateful. This is what you're saying. By being grateful, I state that actually you're the true God and Prophet Muhammad is your messenger. Then I start doing good. Because it's good for me, and because it's being grateful. Not because only it's being grateful, but because it's good for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand my point?
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
if you're not
think?
good in yourself,
If you're not ready, I don't want to push you. I don't want, it's okay.
I will. Do you know what though? I will get a Quran and I will read.
Lovely. This is all I want you to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
We believe as Muslims, لا إكراه في الدين, which means literally there is no compulsion in religion. The truth has manifested clearly from falsehood. So I can see the truth, I can know the truth. But as you mentioned, very rightly, ego sometimes might come into it. Fear might come into it. So many different factors. So many different factors can stop you. But once you know this is the truth, you will know this is the truth. And you know the guidance comes from the Creator. So when you read the book, you will get the guidance from the same idea that you understand my point of view. So when you read, we believe the guidance will come to you. I'm not going to bring it to you. He's not going to bring it to you. You know, God.
But I feel the guidance in my everyday life anyway. I feel to do so this every day.
You're feeling the innate disposition.
Yeah, and I know what my calling is. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, and like I just execute that in the way wherever it feels right to me at the time. So if it's through writing, if it's through having a conversation, if it's through a telephone call, however it is, I feel that I give my own positive energy and my own good feelings through guidance, as you said.
Yeah. You know how this book Quran is also miraculous? Have you ever listened to it? If you open any book and read any book, it will never affect you inside you. It will never affect you. It will never give you what the Quran gives you. I just want you one time to sit down and listen to it. Even you don't understand it, but just listen to it. 10 minutes. If you didn't feel peace and serenity, and it's actually absorbing you in, I'm telling you,
I've been to churches, I've been to different places because I find it really interesting.
Have you ever let her listen to the Quran? No problem.
Because
He'll have to listen to it as well.
You can listen to it with her.
With me, bro, is
Yeah.
I can't preach and then do wrong.
Yes.
You understand? It's like me preaching to her and trying to make her like understand Muslim, and I'm partying on Friday and Saturday and drinking. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying I do that, but I'm saying once in a blue moon I go out in my face.
But I'll tell you. Can I tell you something? The Prophet said this is one of the doors of the devil as well. You know what he wants? He doesn't want you to enjoy the good, so he tells you you're bad yourself. Why are you going to enjoy the good? I might be bad in something, but I can still tell people don't smoke cigarettes. You know what? The father, when he is helpless, he's smoking cigarettes, but he wants to tell his daughter don't smoke. He knows he's doing the wrong thing, but he wants to tell her don't do the wrong thing. we as Muslims, we have to enjoy the good and forbid the bad, even if we do it. Don't let the shaitan open this door for you until you don't enjoy the good. If everyone does that, we all have sins. No one will enjoy the good. We all have mistakes. Everyone will say, I'll just sit down home, I'm not going to tell anyone do this or do that. No one will